taste his own poison. Harry haunted by cold treatment by royals during Jubilee for rest of his life. The Queen's Platinum Jubilee festivities will haunt Prince Harry for the rest of his life, a royal commentator has claimed. Prince Harry recently returned to California with his wife Meghan Markle after celebrating the Queen reaching 70 years on the throne. It was the couple's first public outing in the UK since their controversial exit in early 2020. But, amid fears that attention on the Sussexes might overshadow the occasion, the couple decided to limit their appearances and only attended a Thanksgiving service at St. Paul's Cathedral. Now, speaking to True Royalty TV, royal commentator Duncan Larkham has suggested that the prince will regret not taking the opportunity to feature alongside his royal family members more prominently. That Jubilee, those 4 days, will haunt him for the rest of his life because they were relegated to sitting behind the Duke of Gloucester, he claimed. They didn't take part in any way, shape, or form at the Trooping of the Colour, and fair play to them. You can take your pick where they were excluded from things this weekend, whether they excluded themselves or not. They flew home on a private jet before the damn thing had even finished. The Sun's former royal editor accepted the argument that the Sussexes' low profile might have been adopted in order to ensure focus remained on the Queen, but suggested that Harry would not see his exclusion in those terms. He continued, he will be fuming about the way his family were treated, if it was the royals and William who said, "You are not coming to the royal box," when the likes of Mike Tyndall and other minor royals were there that weren't working royals in the box, at the palace party. And, amid speculation over whether Harry and William had met in private during the weekend to resolve their alleged conflict, Duncan suggested that the lack of a public photo of the pair chatting meant the war is still on between the brothers. Prince Harry reportedly attempted to meet William during the Jubilee but was refused. Royal expert Richard Eden told the Palace Confidential podcast that the St. Paul's seating plan had been engineered to avoid the brothers coming face to face. It was genuinely fascinating because even though the royal family were very keen to make sure that Harry and Meghan were mentioned in the court circular directly after the Duke and Duchess of Cambridge, so they kept with the order of precedence, that went out of the window in the service, Richard suggested. What we saw in the service was that they were relegated to the second row. So even though he's the brother of the future king, he had to sit behind the Queen's cousins who come far down the line of precedence. Richard went on to note that Harry and Meghan had arrived separately from the bus carrying the minor royals, and entering the church, had needed to shuffle awkwardly past Princess Eugenie and Beatrice to find their seats. That's because when they left, there was a procession to leave the cathedral, and it meant that Harry and Meghan were far behind. They had to wait for everyone else in their row to leave first, he claimed. So they couldn't be photographed. They weren't in the same shots as Prince Charles or the Cambridges, they were nowhere near them, and that was very much deliberate. Also speaking on the panel, royal correspondent Victoria Murphy agreed with Richard's take, adding, "The seating I'm sure was decided in advance, and I think it's hard not to look at it as a symbol of the distance between the brothers. And it also meant that there was no picture that could be taken that showed them all in the same frame, that showed the Sussexes directly behind the Cambridges and Charles and Camilla. This whole weekend we haven't had a photograph of William and Harry in the same picture, apart from those wide shots in the cathedral."